Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the south side as Red Judy, got ari32. Spawn on the north side as the blue Greyfield, which I believe this is the cartridge Greyfield. Yes it is. We have caparo, cartridge Greyfield. Standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. Overall pretty standard here. Pretty general. All units get plus 10, plus 10. All naval units and seaplanes and battlecopters in the CO zone get plus 10 offense, plus 40 defense. So he does not have the super buff superpower. Of course, the superpower does provide plus 10, plus 10 and cover fuel, ammo, and material. Naval units, seaplanes, and battlecopters, of course, get additional plus 10 offense and plus 40% defense. Judy's, of course, a custom CO. Reduced boarding cost, 3 radius, no expansion, no energy. And provides all units plus 20% offense, 10% defense, and get 30% salvage. So, let's go and get started. This appears to be a 2-base map. I don't see a 3rd base or a factory along the sides to be captured. There are a number of seaports here. This one is landlocked, got bridge on beach, so only brown water ships can get through that. But this one has full access to the deep shores. Sort of makes me wonder why there's so many shore tiles here, but it's just probably meant for better traversement, and it's also slightly farther forward. And my apologies, I'm going to adjust my microphone a little bit. There we go. There's also a pair of comm towers in the map, which there is temporary airports, temporary seaports, and a beach here next to the comm towers, so plenty of landable terrain. Both of these HQs are pretty close by each other. Wait. Okay, can't interrupt. I'm just wondering, like, wait a second. Please tell me that bikes can be interrupted, because it could have easily gone really bad there. Like, oh, can't interrupt it? I'm just gonna go for the HQ cap. Sorry, I just had to take a brief moment there. Because occasionally things like that happen. It's like, oh, wait, I forgot to put it to HQ. That's actually pretty far forward. It could be rushed down by a single bike. Judy has gone for an early tank. She's probably loaded herself up into it. Greyfield does not have to be loaded into a naval unit. He can also be loaded into a pretty good battlecopter. It would have Wayland level defenses and almost as the same offense. He also has a pretty big radius as well, so he can be provide a lot more coverage for a battlecopter spam, honestly. Wayland affects, of course, all air units, while Greyfield does affect battlecopters as well as seaplanes. Seaplanes could be possible in this map, but aircraft carrier and seaplanes still pretty expensive. Honestly, aircraft carriers could get... I don't know how to balance it out. Seaplanes could be cheaper as well as the aircraft carrier. It's a very good concept, and he does load up the battlecopter with Greyfield himself, plus provide plus 40% offense, 7% defense after the CO benefits. I do have a lander not pulling the field, as well as another tank infantry, tank and infantry there. Anti-air has been deployed up north, or northern direction. Judy's pushing forward the tanks, have to be careful of the battlecopter. Looks like a tank, anti-air, and battlecopter. Oh wait. Look closely here. I think it's a bit of a not high funds, but intermediately high funds, which I think every property is providing, 20 properties, 3,000 income, so each property provides 1,500 income. I could probably do it like this way. Something I just now noticed there. It says 1,000, pretty sure it's 1,500. Definitely not inspired by Lake Erie map, or Erie Lake map. Oh. Erie Lake. I'm not familiar with all the maps, and some reason my mind auto-corrected Lake Erie, which is one of the names of the Great Lakes here in the United States, which also technically counts as Canada as well, since it borders in between the two. Got a duster deployed up by Judy there. High funds usually means 2,000 income per property, but this is more of intermediately high funds. So somewhat high funds. Greyfield has one bomber, and since there is extra income now, it means ships and other heavy assets can be deployed, so this can be very interesting very quickly. Duster to counter the Duster, as well as provide some escort to the Bomber. Battlecopter heading up north. It wasn't an Advanced Wars Days Ruin as one of the trial maps. Got it. Good shot there and there. Does drop down the 8-tier and infantry there. Mech, battlecopter, anti-air, and gunboat. There's a lot of hits there. I'm just fully capture that property. We'll be able to complete it. Infantry just chaining over here. There's a number of river tiles here, so this area has to be dropped off by lander or cross over the river. Got a rocket over here. Another tank, we've got a full fighter now uploaded in the field. Looks like designed for air superiority. Anti-air strike, anti-air, and of course is on top of spawn cities, so won't gain resupplies, but at least have extra defense there. Interrupt capture, now 3 capture points rather than and 2 health remaining, so good interrupt there. Battlecopter headed up north. Looks like Greyfield's doing an extra job down south of the infantry game. Rocket's somewhat vulnerable to the fighter. Then again, what does... Oh, we got a counter fighter there by Greyfield. Judy now has 46,000 income, or funds in the bank. 40,500 income versus 37,000, so it's getting pretty high valued. Got a tank. Rocket's straight forward. Bike pulls back. Does pull back the command tanks there. Battleship deployed down south. Battlecopter and bike, including a tank as well. And do have now a battleship deployed out by Greyfield. Both sides are just setting up quite a bit of force here. Blue's force seems a bit more impressive bomber as opposed to the rocket. Though Judy does have a couple, they have the same amount of anti-airs. Capture the temporary port. Both sides capture the compound in the center. Multiple strikes there by Judy. The radar station has 10 capture progress remaining. Tank gets on top of loading the lander. And looks like just got a bit of stalemate up here. Multiple gunboats here. Gunboats, of course, only have 1 ammo, so they don't last very long. You know they have 2 torpedo tubes. Now got a bomber deployed by Judy. Right now she has 240,000 fuel versus 215, so it's day-to-day difference. So they're pretty even at the moment. Though Greyfield's many good hits there with his own infantry. Greyfield feels like he's starting to win the south. They have equal income at the moment, and we've still got one property just despicably neutral, looks like. Duster, gunboat, tank, and mech. Red's navy is a little bit weaker. good kills there. Fighter heading to center to engage the Duster, and Fighter has an escort of gunboats and does go for a submarine. If Greyfield paid close enough attention, he would see if monies would go down, but nothing gets put in the field. So Greyfield possibly is aware of it. He already has a cruiser in the field, which is good. And the cruiser sticking to the temporary seaport provides 1-star defense, as well as if he gets struck by something, at least get repaired on up, because he needs the counter unit. He's going for a healthy number of gunboats. And looks like his battlecraft is heading down south. Battleship knocks out one of the gunboats thanks to the boosted aura. It does block the blue water ship advancing over here thanks to being atop the rough seas. Rough seas do provide 2 defense stars. And Greyfield's just charging with his navy. He has a significant gunboat force. And there is a lack of a cruiser to engage Greyfield's aircraft. Judy's going to have to send her fighter into this fighter. So, and then the bomber will probably be struck by the Duster if he sends the bomber in. If she sends the bomber into the map, Brock will head towards down south to provide some bombardment. Fighter does strike fighter. Only gets 5 damage there. Gunboats are striking gunboats. Does go for a cruiser. Duster's brought down south for air superiority. Blue Duster would like to strike the fighter, and then Blue's fighter will take on the fighter. It's got infantry tank. And Duster. Gunboat does get shot down. Gunboat goes down. And Battlecraft does get the first strike on the battleship. And battleship will strike battleship with the aura boost. Gunboat or cruiser takes out. And the gunboat does discover the submarine. Looks like Greyfield took a massive lead in this map, and not to mention he has almost superpower, though this member is the unbuffed Greyfield. This is cartridge Greyfield. And got a rocket, battleship, mech, and T-copter. Gunboat does go down there. Fighter does go down there. A lot of rotation up north, trying to readjust everything. And gunboat, anti-air, bomber, and infantry. Right now, Greyfield has a superpower, which could give him +10/+10 global. Not to mention all of his naval ships will be provided some massive benefits. But everything else will be just getting minor buffs, so maybe worth it. It will only be sacking in turn of the battlecopter, which, like, I'd say pop the power, I'd say. Get +10% global. He has right now 276,000 versus 281, so the game gets to go out of the way. And not to mention the bomber is on top of the HQ, so if the command tank goes down, the bomber could be HQ'd. But with the superpower, will mostly just provide +10% attack and defense global, which is not too significant still. And right now his battlecraft is providing X buffs for everything. Does pop the power there. Lots of good hits there. Oh, good call. Restocking. I've got the resupply aspect. Good reminder. Not to mention, resupplying all the fuel in the air units up north is going to be important. But yeah, resupplying gunboats is actually quite important. My apologies. My allergies kicking in. Judy's turn. Right now it's 300,000 for 194. She's taking some hits, but may as well. The value of daily income is in the 40,000, so not too far behind. Gets a lot of salvage there. The front lines collapse there. She's going to get a large amount of salvage. Not there. Nor there. Oh, there. Good strike from the Dusters. Took 6% damage there from that 1 HP sub. Fighter, battleship, tank. Some hits down over here. Strikes the mech. Does not finish off there. Yep. My allergy is kicking in, I think. It's also weak. I can't take off since I'm the alternate supervisor, and my supervisor is on vacation. Capturing the temporary seaport there, which can be nice for a bit of resupplying. Does take out some gunboats there. Good shot there. Good strike on the medium tanks. Fighter does take out the battlecopter. Fighter, tank, gunboat, mech. Some strikes down south. And start 270,000 versus 186, so Judy's falling pretty far behind. Her CO unit's no longer available up north, and she may and has looked in the HQ to CO as well. She won't get any salvage next turn. Does CO the tank down south. Gonna be out of range of everything though. Greyfield's at 55 energy. Strikes the fighter there. ATR finish off bomber. Battlecopter strikes tank. Tank strikes tank. ATR gets knocked out, leaving the bomber a bit free reign. There's a lot of temporary seaports on the map, so maybe not absolutely necessary. One thing I sort of think is, well, since the gunboat has could be buffed and get 2 ammo, now got superpower there. Granted, when I say buff, I mean something for a Advanced or Days of Ruin 2, which is probably never going to happen. Lots of good hits there. Bomber does get struck. Don't worry about that. Something on my side. ETR falls back. Tank forward. That's a good shot there. Duster will strike Duster. Bomber strike it. This is all from salvage, just barring that strike there. Fighter does strike Duster. Good strike there. Judy does decent amount of salvage that turn. Some gunboats go on down. Battleship strikes the battleship. A lot of mechs here, which fighting against them infantry. The mechs overall are nice, but a little bit outvalued down south. Fighter, battleship, gunboat, infantry, and A tier. Looks like Judy's getting some great air superiority at the moment, though we do have some cruisers in range. Doesn't finish off Duster. Cruiser will strike the fighter there. And it looks like Judy sort of lost air superiority. Now there's a full fighter for blue. She does have 2 bombers, but they can be easy pickings for that fighter. Oh yeah. Lots of free ranks. Battleship gets struck by the boosted gunboat as well. Duster, mech, tank, gunboat. Good strike there, and there. Right now, Judy has 152,000. Greyfield got knocked down to 185. So it looks like Greyfield's about a full turn ahead, which is not too terrible. Definitely, Judy's definitely caught up a little bit. Wounded Duster takes out another bomber there. Good strike there. Here's the battle copter. Battleship, battlecopter, infantry, bike, answer of 231. Fighter takes the battlecopter. Battleship strikes the rocket. Gunboat gets struck by the battleship, wounded battleship. Some of these aircraft can always fall back to the temporary airport as well. Decides to trap the fighter there and brings the E-tier to destroy it, or at least pick it off. Battleship, artillery, gunboat, tank. And once again, the battleship gets struck. A lot of funds there, and he has enough for a superpower, so he can resupply the gunboats once again. Takes out all those units there. Greyfield's just doing X and C, and there's a big resupply. Tank will strike the E-tier, which basically prevents the fighter from taking severe damage. Bomber gets struck there. Brings back the Duster to the temporary airport. Bomber, bike, gunboat. Good strike there. Get some damage on the fighter. Bombs the rocket, takes it out. Counterattacks out the tanks, get some good hits. Once to capture that property. Judy still has higher base income, not to mention salvage. Good battleship strikes there, but Greyfield's getting some excellent value from his gunboats with his superpower. Here, submarine, gunboat, infantry, and another Duster. Does take up the bomber there. Put some rounds in here, knocks it out as well. And the bridge is blocked, so tanks have trouble striking up north. Starting to strafe the command tank there. Battleship just strike the tank there. Gunboat blocks away, but at least can be fired upon from the harbor. Battleship getting knocked out by gunboats. Bike, tank. Duster, gunboat. Another battleship. Here. Another battlecopter. Greyfield's making good progress down south. Battleship knocks out that gunboat in one hit thanks to his high efficiency. Battleship heading down, Duster as well. Tank does strike tank. Fighter manages to get a shot there on the battlecopter, but in range of the Duster. Aircraft carrier, infantry, battlecopter, and infantry. So Greyfield may be eyeing for some seaplanes. Gunboat gets knocked out there. Battleship does strike battleship. Gunboat trying to spawn. Wounded battleship hits the cruiser. Battlecopter falls back to the temporary port. Here manages to take out the fighter. Good strike there onto the ATR. Battleship, gunboat, ATR, and infantry. Takes out the command tank. Bomber down south getting some good hits. No Duster or anything in the region to stop it. And looks like Blue's going to to capture the HQ. It may actually get it. The Greyfield has another superpower. Does activate the superpower there. And there's a lot of stuff between it and the HQ. And I don't know if Red can actually breach it. He's down to 100,000 funds on the field either way versus 259. Another cruiser. We'll get a good strike there, taking out some of these units, but I don't think there's any way to strafe that bike, and that's going to be game. And that is game. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.